Allison here, your food therapist, and welcome to my first episode of Cookies for Conversation. I'm going to share with you how I make my homemade chocolate chip cookies and, like I said, give you that specific cooking therapy question to talk about while these guys are cooking. So let me show you what I've got in here. So I have 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. I have a teaspoon of baking soda and a teaspoon of salt right here. I have I have 1 cup, 2 sticks of softened butter. And my little tip here is make sure it's not melted. I find that when you melt it all the way, it messes with the cookies. So just make sure it's nice and soft. I have 3/4 of a cup of white sugar and 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. I have a teaspoon of vanilla and 2 large eggs. And the best part, of course, 2 cups of chocolate chips. Now, if you're feeling generous, feel free to add more. You can never have too many of these guys. And this is really the easiest recipe in the entire world. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna add your flour into a big mixing bowl with your baking soda and your salt. Now, some of these recipes that you'll find, they actually suggest that you use an electric mixer. I disagree. I don't think you have. I mean, certainly you can if you want to, but you don't have to. In fact, I prefer to do it by hand myself rather than using a mixer because I find the therapeutic element of that. It's relaxing. It can help you to unwind after a busy day. So just do me the favor and mix it by hand. So I've got these ingredients mixed together. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my sugar and my butter and kind of cream it together. I love making cookies. I think this is one of the greatest joys in life is to make them for your family, make them for yourself, make them just for the heck of making cookies. There's really no reason why not to. So here I am mixing all this together. All right, so now I'm added I don't know if you can see this here. I've got my butter and my sugar all ready to go, and I'm adding it to my flour mixture. Again, simple, simple, simple. Okay, so that's gonna go in this big bowl here. And don't forget to add the other sugar as well. Yeah, and this is really it. I mean, this is one of those great recipes to have on hand because they're easy to make, like I said. You can always whip them up for no reason at all, and they're really, really good. So now I'm gonna add my eggs into this big bowl. Now, since this is part of my vanilla that's going into. Now, since this is part of my Cooking for Conversation series that I was telling you about, I want you and your partner to make these cookies together. And I want you to, while they are baking in the oven, they're gonna bake for about 10 minutes in a preheated 375-degree oven. So while they're in there, I want you both to answer this question. Are you ready? I want you to answer the question of, what am I willing to do to change our relationship? Seems pretty simple, right? But that question is pretty big, and I want you to both be honest about the answer, and I want you to really listen to the answer. So you're gonna have about 10 to 15 minutes while these guys are cooking in the oven to talk about this and to answer that question for each other. It's a really big question, and I can promise you're gonna get a big answer in response. So this is part of my Cookies for Conversation series. Go into the kitchen tonight, make my recipe for chocolate chip cookies, homemade chocolate chip cookies, and answer this big question, and you will be well on your way to starting improving your relationship with cooking therapy. I'm going to add my chocolate chips and pop these guys in the oven, and I'll see you next time. Be sure to give me a thumbs up if you're going to do this tonight, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks.